Inibingelele futhi. Yazi, there's always that question about where do we start? It's a very interesting question. I get it a lot from people. The where do we start part. And the answer is always very simple, Uti. Self-knowledge. Know thyself. Thola ukuthi ubani, imvelaphi yakho, imvelaphi yabantu bakini. On either side. Both on the left, your maternal side, and the right, your paternal side. Understand where you come from. Understand that each one of your families on either side baphethe. So where is the practical approach to this very, very simple answer? Iba complicated because, excuse me, I don't know what happened to umuntu, but it seems like there's this very strong obsession with ritualism. We are so hell-bent on being ritualistic in our approach. A particular ritual for a particular thing. Ngathi lento ye hocus pocus sisingene kakhulu emakhanda, I think maybe that's where the issue is. What we've been doing too much hocus pocus, so we expect ukuthi yonke into must be ritualized in some way. I don't blame you, I blame the churches. That's where you learn this lifestyle of rituals. Ibhizi njengamanje, this season, today, doing rituals. So you come to a point where now it's Inkosi Mkhize says, oh well, go discover who you are. Awazi ukuthi wenze njani manje ngoba you want to find a ritual. In the practical sense, the ritual that needs to be performed there is the one of self-acknowledgement and self-realization and self-discovery. To discover the self, one needs to pose the question to the self and to the universe. Uhlale lapha endlini yakho, regardless of what stage you are in. If you're in the stage of amakhandlela, because you people go through a lot of stages before you come to realize, no man, all of these things are just scams. Regardless of what stage you're in, ask yourself, ngingubani? If you're on the Mpepo stage, she's the Mpepo, ask the elders. Yebo msibanibani, ngingubani na? And if the answer should come quickly, so should the follow-up question, which is ningubani nina? All these spirits, unithama abantu abadala hedi ngengibabuza ukuthi ubani nina na? And where do I enter in everything? Shale ucingo lapha in the Mpepos. Hey bantu, ningubani? And isihlangana phi? Ask the question. It's always the simplest questions. And it's always those ones in Sabai Wabuza because you feel like it's a bit rude. But there's nothing called rudeness in pursuit of knowledge and truth. So discover the truth about yourself first. Ukuthi wena usibanibani, uzalwa usibanibani, uzalwa masibanibani, uzalwa ubani, uzalwa masibanibani. can go as far as you can go. And I would say that people need to memorize this, because as much as that's the sad part, is that I always say here, Muti, as much as black people like to pretend that they are cultural and traditionalist, there is nothing in terms of keeping a genealogy. You don't know 3 generations down the road, all the way up to you. Or great-grandfather back. Awusabas. Those are the chances. Wherever you go with Africans, there's that disconnect. We don't know all the way down there. And then you find this fantastic thing of people claiming that they descend from a long line of Mawatwati, but they have no clear connection. Abazi nokuthi lawo makhosi lawo bathi bahlobene nawo angcwetshwephi. Uma singahamba siyofuna ithambo nje, do a test and see if ulibofuso liyafana yini dololo. Self-discovery. Discover yourself and discover your elders. Hlukane namadlozoms. That's where we begin. That's how you start your journey. You ask the proper question. The simplest question is always the best. Ask. How are you going to know if you don't ask? Don't ask me. Katel, andokdo imbuzi izinto lezi fana benimbuza le emangeni. Hamba kini yobuza. Go. Ask your grandmother, your grandfather, hey, so bani sivelaphi. Awuchazele abantu bakini. Have that conversation ekhaya. Oh, baba abantu abanje, okay. Have that conversation with your grandparents, basekhona, and your parents. Well, unfortunately, your parents don't even know anything about anyone or anything at all. Bazi indaba zabantu nje. That is the most unfortunate thing about our parents. But the grandparents tend to have a bit of, like in the 1930s and 1940s, maybe in terms of lineage and genealogy. And then record that. Do what you can to record so that your children know where they come from. Let's have this culture of establishing the genealogies in Makaya and then transfer it down the line, because siyalahlekelana futhi ihlobo because we don't know each other. Abantu ba estranged. There's a lot of people who are estranged in our families and community. Bayaphila abantu bathi abazani, abavakashelana, all those things. So that's where the journey starts. It starts at the altar of yourself. Find out and be very serious about it. You have to have the most passion with regards to who you are. You find people having a lot of passion for Ujwala and Groove and my career, but they lack a passion of knowing Bawoban. And this is why in Bulala Bantu, because you don't even know yourselves. Mtahamba esibhedlela egula kancane abuye segula kakhulu. Mabheka la uDr. Sbanman. Unesi Sbanman who doesn't know what the hell is going on in life. Uze ngokuzofuna umsebenzi nje. Ahlanganisa phazamisa makes ama drip abantwana bafe. Uthi uyafika uzobheka umuntu wakini lapha esibhedlela akashintshiwe ngisho idiaper le mawuthi diaper. Izinto ezenzeke ebhedlela, because people are passionate about things that have nothing to do with anything. Those things should be secondary. People are passionate about the life that money provides, but that thing should be secondary. fully comfort of having a job and a stable income and providing for a family, but you don't know who you are. You don't even know who your family is, and you wonder why. So that's where the journey starts. Discover the self. Yeke abantu bheke kwakho, find out who you are and then deal with yourself, and then you'll start peeling the layers, because there are so many layers to ourselves, especially now, of the pain and the hurt and the resentment and the hate and the love and all those things. I'm a grudge. Those things, attend to it. Because the more you try to discover about yourself, you're going to start learning about the person that you are and how you became what you are. And then you'll move away from sitting there and blaming others for what you've become or what you've allowed them to shape you to be. Because some of you are angry at people who you allowed to shape your narrative. And this is why ngithi abantu abahlukane nokufonelana nenkosi yasemkhisoneni. I don't want to be shaping anybody's narrative. Shape your own narrative. Discover who you are so you can create a narrative of you. Hlukane nenkosi yasemkhisoneni. Stop depending on other people. Yona lento le, this Messiah complex abantu abamnyama banayo, and refusing to do the simple things because you are waiting for someone to intervene on your behalf. Nonsense. Nonsense. That's the practical approach. I mean, we talk about a lot of ideology and explanation in this channel, but somehow people miss how to apply that. I'm saying be practical in discovering yourself. If kukhona abantu abakini owaziyo ukuthi hey abantu bakini bathi kuthiwa basho ukuthi hamba bafunda. Go. O baba bakho mangazi baba bakho ukuphi, hamba umfundi. Qale lapho. Ukuthi ubani wenzani, wahlule ukungenzelani, wangendle, wangondla, wabaleka, akude olagayela wena lelo. Don't become so fixated with who did what for you, because you'll just end up becoming like them. And that person realizes their fault before you do, and they make atonements empilweni. Uthola ukuthi uyashizile empilweni because he's paying for the crime of not doing anything for you. And then when he's done, he dies, he goes and crosses the river when he's stuck here because you are obsessed. Bunch of nonsense. So what? If you are so what? So what? Could be obsessed and see yourself become a good for nothing to your own children. Because that's what happens eventually. Those people who get obsessed about people not doing things for them, they become good for nothings to other people. Even if they become something for their children, it's useless at the end of the day because the children will probably waste it. Because they have an inhliziyo engaxolile. Become negated by the curses of the grudges you have against your parents. You see the formula here? No, you don't. In the game of equivalences, you give and you get. You get what you give, not what other people give. It's not up to you, that one. You are in charge of what you give, the energy that you give. So what if people don't? And people are useless, I mean, most of the time. I'm also quite useless to other people, I'm sure. We are all useless to someone. It's guaranteed. So why are you so obsessed about that one person who was never there for you? Ufunenzeni? Reverse the clock and go back in time and change something? No. Move forward. Accept that they could not take care of you when they had the chance. Let's move forward. Accept Uguti, even now they're still having difficulty forming a relationship. Maybe they don't have a difficulty forming a relationship. Maybe you are the one who's showing signs that you are closed off and not willing to allow them. And they don't know how to approach. Some people even feel, no man, yes, I don't deserve to approach this child on this matter. I did too much wrong. And and fake smiling. Man, people can see through your fake smile. Don't think that your parents don't see what you're pretending to be nice to them. And so angry, I can't approach her. And you wonder why that conversation never takes place. Even if you go work into, so what? Move past it. Oh, and accept it. Oh, this one, there's nothing I can do about it. But he's my father. Oh, he's my mother. Because but we just cover it up because we don't want to seem like we're painting women in a bad light, because that's where society has put us now. But Oma Oledi Ngwaba yabo are useless. When you start really examining this, and half the time, this is toxicity, and this is why we can't take you all as wives, because your parents, or Maben, have taught you toxicity. Pale. They have never showed you any form of what you call this? Any form. Never. You never see that in your house. Kazi umbone mawakho uguqela baba wakho ngetrail. Yama khekhe neti. Kaze. All your life. Even the men of approach. Kazi ibona. Oh, umama ekhuma nobaba kuyashintsha. So you go into these people's sons and with this maladjusted temperament and expect them. No. Just because you're beautiful does not mean that we're going to keep you. It takes more than that. That's one arena where your beauty does not really matter. Who knows the rules of engagement in a relationship, in a home, who knows how to take care of a home. And it just doesn't help must take care of the house, clean. How about we're angry the whole time, and you come to your own house, hey, for the bond time, because this one I handling the cases, and it's normal. I'm just highlighting there's a lot of fundamental emotional maladjustment and traumas that you need to deal with. Once you discover yourself, you will see why most of these things that I say are wrong. And you do your best to fix and change something. It's never too late to change behavior patterns. You can make a conscious effort to change your behavior patterns and become a better person. It's never too late. You can try it today. So, what did I say? This journey begins by discovering the self. And the practical tool for that is to use your mind and your mouth to ask the questions of who you are and where you come from. and who your people are and where they come from. Make it a point of research. Become passionate with discovering. Hamba ubuze ekhaya ukuthi singobani imvelaphi yaphi. Hamba ubuze. Yeke ukuhlala lapho emafletini cabanga ukuthi someone's going to come from the sky azokutshela ukuthi I know ubaba wakho sendaweni ukuthi go find out who your father is. You don't know where your father is, go find out. You don't know where your mother is, hamba umfundi. If push comes to shove, ikhona lento leyo ayanda yini khumbula ekhaya. Hopeless step in. There's all kinds of things. Go. They'll do the research for you. Bakufunele investigate. Into swamba. And once you discover that in the journey, make it a point to keep a record of your lineage and where you come from. Genealogy. For the kids' sake. Because Sabantu, but we don't even know the damn thing about our own history and where we came from. Ngathi siqhamuka izolo kanti hey sibadala kulo mhlaba, but we have no connection and recollection of the past. Somewhere we forgot ukuthi siqhamuka asisazazi, and we allowed abantu to come and manufacture izinto ezinga exist to define us. And we accept it. We accept it. So accept ibongo into besingenayo. Sonke sesohadela. Ngasihlangana naphi nohadela. Sonke sesomkhize ngasihlangana naphi nomkhize. Sesobutheleza ngasihlangana. Sesozulu. All these new things that came in the early 1800s for administrative purposes, we allowed them to happen. And we never said no. And then you ask a black person today, can you prove to me ukuthi umkhulu wakho wangama 1800s? Why uphi? If abelungu today were to say to us, okay, if you guys are saying this is land is yours, can you prove to us that you were here in the 1500s? Can't. Don't know where you're coming from. You can't go and dig up bones and kombe out here. It's sad. The journey to self-discover. You will discover yourself and you'll become great at yourself, at being yourself. Yeah, but I think that's the first thing you need to do. You first need to be great at being yourself. You'll become a great doctor later, you'll become a great engineer, you'll become a great teacher. Qala being your best self. Be great at being who you are. That's the first step to self-discover. Yeke indaba zama-ritualism lapho. Mancane ama-ritualism phela nifuna ama-ritual nini? Hlala lapho ngicabanga ukuthi kufanele kube khona i-prescription ezonenza ukuthi hayi ke hayi sokwazi uqala le ndlela le yokuyithola. Hlula nje into simple. The main core of all the issues is here in the mind. Apply your mind to the correct thing, then you will discover the correct things. Amithaba. Qhubeka nje niphile. Hlala emakhaya imkhiza udlala lezi zinsuku. Uzoloku uqhamukile nje ngoba seyifuna abantu bangaloku becalusa.